I know y'all love to hear me talk, and I appreciate that. But on this particular morning, I got to defer to my brother, Max Kellerman.
At number 6, there were an embarrassment of riches in the draft. Obviously, you don't take Daniel Jones at 6. There is a word for the Daniel Joneses of the world. Day 2 guy. You're the best scout in the world. No, none of these other scouts for any of these other teams know what they're looking at. Only Gettleman does, because no one else had him ranked like that.
Welcome into First Take. I'm Roz Goldon-Woode. I'm filling in for Molly Kiram. I'm here with Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. What's up, y'all?
Hey,
Thank
you. Give it up.
I give it to you, yes.
There we go. There we go. How y'all doing?
Thank you guys for having me back for day 2.
Thank you for being back. We're happy that you're back. I mean, I didn't know whether we ran you off yesterday. I wasn't sure.
No, actually, I watched the show, so it was really interesting, cool, funny to see it happening live and right in front of my face.
There we go.
So I'm glad to be back here for day 2. And actually, they showed the video, Max. I mean, they showed your initial reactions to Daniel Jones going at number 6.
Well, people think I don't know I'm on TV. I stand by everything I say.
Well, he's having a great preseason, all right? But the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, quarterback out of Duke, with the number 6 pick. And it was met with ridicule and scorn, but Daniel Jones has become the darling of the preseason. He's now completed 25 of 30 passes for 369 yards and 2 touchdowns in just 3 games. And that's leaving Giants head coach Pat Shurmur feeling vindicated. And he addressed the media, calling out the haters.
About every 6 or 7 days now, I've been able to tell you that's what we saw when we drafted him. So I think he just has a feel for playing the position. And he's getting, he's steadily getting better every time he takes the field, whether it's practice or games. And so that's what you're looking for from a young player. You can ask me all you want about why I like him. I think it's time to start asking the people that didn't like him what they think.
Now, Max, clearly he's feeling good about what Jones is showing. Is he right to be calling out the haters?
Sure, because he's being asked about it every day. So he's saying that it's no surprise to us. Maybe it's a surprise to someone like me. Hell yeah, it's a surprise to someone like me. It is a surprise to me how well he is playing, because he is playing practically flawlessly so far. My issue was not that I pretended to know how good Daniel Jones was, although everyone I spoke to who watched had him graded among the lowest of the likely to be taken quarterbacks in almost every category. But I admitted I didn't watch Daniel Jones in college. Stephen A., were you watching Duke football last year?
Not at all.
No, neither was I.
I wasn't thinking about it. The only thing I think about Duke is when the basketball season starts.
Of course. Who was watching Duke football? Please, football gods, let Daniel Jones be as good as he looks. I hope he is. I've never wanted to be more wrong than I want to be about Daniel Jones and the Giants taking him instead of Haskins. However, Coach, before he puts it back on people like me, should pump the brakes a little bit. He doesn't have reps with the ones. You know what that means? You don't have reps against the ones. So we're talking about 3 preseason games against 2s in a preseason so far that's been notorious on account of the fact that coaches aren't playing guys. So far, so good. I'm trying not to get too excited about Daniel Jones, and I think Coach also should pump the brakes a little bit about telling us to take a look in the mirror when we haven't even seen him play a real game or even a preseason game against the ones.
Here's one of the things that I will say about you, Max, that I think the American public needs to know. You're an incredibly nice guy. You really, really are. You're one of the kindest people that I know. You're a really, really good guy. I can't say that about myself. I'm really not that guy. I mean, I'm real. I can be raw, and the people that I love and are close to me and what have you, and the people that I value, oh, yeah, they'll swear by me. But the average Joe, make no mistake about it, I'm not that nice of a guy. I just prefer to be just real as opposed to nice. I don't want to be evil, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be nice. I think sometimes you do that, and I think that this is one of those situations where that's exactly what you're doing. I can understand it's emanating from your diatribe in the immediate aftermath of the NFL draft in Nashville, when we were there and we were just both disgusted that they passed up on Haskins or whatever. And it was bona fide and a legit take. But the reason why I'm going to accuse you of being nice on this particular morning is that I can't believe that you're letting Pat Shurmur, of all people, get away with his dribble. Let me be very, very clear, Roz, Max Kellerman. This same man who never deserved the head coaching job for the New York Giants. Never. He did nothing, okay? His His record as an NFL head coach is 15-34. That is a 30% winning percentage. Why is that relevant on this particular moment in time? Because not a single regular season game has been played with Daniel Jones. You haven't even put him against opposing starters. We're talking about the preseason. It ain't practice, man. I know that. But damn it, it's preseason, okay? And you're literally going to sit up there before this dude has had an opportunity to pass gas on an NFL field, and you're going to sit up there and say, excuse me, maybe it's time to ask the critics. Why? What? For what? We haven't seen anything yet. You haven't been in a real game yet. You haven't been against first units yet. You ain't go against the Dallas defense, the starters. You haven't gone against the Eagles defense, the starters. We look down the schedule and see who else the hell you playing. You haven't won against any of them. And oh, by the way, we've already been told Eli Manning don't have to do a damn thing because he will be starting the season opener. We've heard the owner state, I hope I never see Daniel Jones this season, because that would mean that Eli Manning is playing his tail off, which is exactly what we want. We are anticipating that opposing defenses are going to literally stack the box and dare Eli Manning to throw the football, because Saquon Barkley is pretty much your lone threat. And one of the other things that I'd like to point out, Max, this man in Cleveland, his record was 9-23 in 2 years as the coach of the Browns. It's 5-11 in his first season with the New York Giants. Every year he's been a head coach. In 2011, his offense ranked 29th in yards, 30th in points. In 2012, it was 25th in yards, 24 in points. Last year in the Giants, he ranked, 17 in yards, 16 in points. As a head coach, you've given us no indication whatsoever that you are the right man for the job. And before a regular season game is played with Daniel Jones, you're going to sit up there and say, don't ask me. It's time to ask the critics. Time to ask the critics. We're critical because it's you that has something to do with the pick.
Don't mistake my kindness for weakness.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't do that ever again. Let me tell you something.
I'm not mistaken. I'm just saying on this particular morning.
Let me tell you something. You have to be fair. The coach was asked point blank, as he is all the time, about Daniel Jones. So at a certain point, coach is like, how many times can I say the same thing? We're not surprised by this. This is the guy we thought we were getting.
He don't get
Why
to bring
don't
up
you
critics?
ask the people who were surprised what they think so far? I will tell you what I think so far. So far, so good. What my original comment was, there's a name for the Daniel Joneses of the world. It's called second day guy. My issue was not even that they drafted him. My issue was with his draft position. They took him 6th overall when no one else was going to take him in the first round, and they had 2 first-round picks. They could have had 2 elite or primetime players and then gotten their quarterback in the second round. Now, the Giants' answer to that was, if you know that that's your guy, forget about that. Grab him. I agree. But then my point was, then that dude better make the Hall of Fame. So my criticism of Pat Shurmur right now is simply, he looks really good so far against second units in the preseason. But he can't just be a middle-of-the-pack NFL quarterback to justify the pick. He's got to be an elite quarterback.
That's your deal. And my deal is, excuse me, he hasn't played a regular season game yet, and you got the audacity to sit up there and talk about the critics and let the critics ask. Well, guess what? I'll do you a favor, Pat Shurmur. I'm going to lay off. Not that I was on Daniel Jones that much, but I'm going to lay off. Because here's what I'm going to say. If Daniel Jones doesn't look good, based on what you're saying, Pat Shurmur, then it must be you. That's what I take from this conversation. I don't need to look. We don't even need to be critical. We don't even reverse it. We don't. When they say boomerang, bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? Listen, bottom line is, if I'm a critic, we don't need to pay attention to Daniel Jones. Okay, particularly if he's inept at any point.
Give him Daniel Jones.
What we need to do is look at Pat Shurmur. Because evidently it must be you, Coach. It must be you.
And hey, Daniel Jones, he's a rookie. That's what the preseason is for rookies to get their shine and have an opportunity. Just to point out for him, out of the 53 quarterbacks with more than 20 pass attempts this preseason, the guys who are actually playing out there in the preseason, Daniel Jones leads all of them in completion percentage, passer rating, and yards per attempt.
I'm so touched.
I'm saying, I know, it's so touching.
I'm a Giants fan, man. I hope I'm wrong.
It's so touching. It's touching.
Hey, it's not bad for a guy getting his first NFL rep.
All
right, let's move along. The U.S. Open, tennis's final major of the year is upon us, and First Take will be there next Friday, August 30th. As the action heats up on the courts next week with Serena, Coco, Federer, and Nadal.
You know it's big time when tennis invites me to the spot. You know it's big time.
I know I'm just filling in, but I wonder if I could get like a press credential. And
Serena,
get
I'm
to the
coming,
matches.
baby. I'm coming.
All right. Plus, Stephen A., Max, and Molly will debate all the hottest topics from the NFL